In her warrant, I'm sorry, in The Men Who Killed Kennedy, she says, I was actually out at the grocery store and bought a lot of groceries, and I came back and he was here. So now on Friday, she leaves at 9:30 in the morning, leaves the TV on for Marina, who wasn't even awake yet. And also, by the way, the motorcade was not televised. So she's got the TV on, so that if something happens, it'll break into the TV. Okay, it'll be turned on automatically, okay? In her Warren Commission testimony, she also went to the grocery store on Saturday and Sunday of that weekend, okay? I'm a child of the 60s, okay? My mom went to the grocery store one day a week. It was usually on Saturday, and it's usually when my dad was home so he could watch us kids and she could go to the grocery store. This woman's going to the grocery store every damn day. And here's the other thing too. Her 4-year-old's got a dental appointment. I can't remember going to the dentist before I was 7 or 8. Okay, I don't buy her testimony one bit. I honestly believe that Ruth Payne is the person who delivered that 6.5 Mannlicher Carcano to the Dallas Police Department. Okay, because they didn't have a 7.6, but they found a 7.65. They didn't have a 6.5. Okay, she can say all she wants in her testimony that she didn't know he had a gun. If I'm walking by that to get to that, to walk by that to get to that, to stand up here next to that, that's the table that she did this on, and she didn't know he had a gun for 6 weeks. Good Lord, I've tripped over an extension cord more than once in 6 weeks. This woman's stepping over guns that she doesn't even know are there.
So that's where they claim they found that rifle?
No. No, the Warren Commission claimed that the reason why Oswald came home on Thursday is that he went to get the rifle, he disassembled it, and he carried it underneath his arm to Buell Frazier's. But the problem is, this gun, when it's disassembled, is 34 inches long.
Too long to do that.
So, you know, it won't fit.
Yeah.
And even Buell Frazier said that he, you know, he said it's just a brown paper bag. He believed it was a shower curtain.
So Ruth Payne just says this is where it was laying, where he had it before that.
Well, when the police showed up, they asked Marina, does he have a gun? And she said yes.
Oh,
and said, can you show me where it's at? And so they went out there and the police picked up that blanket.
Gotcha.
And obviously there was no gun underneath.
Sorry, man, didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
no, that's no big deal. That's what we're all here for, guys. Okay? You can't be, you know, you can't learn if you don't ask the questions, okay?
But there's one other problem. Why would he store a gun in the house he's not living at? He's got his other gun in Oak Cliff,
Well,
and it'd be there.
Well, here's the problem. Gladys Johnson, who owned the rooming house, okay, she did a thorough inventory search when you first moved in, and her rules were you cannot drink, you cannot have anybody in your room, and that rooming house out at 1026 North Beckley's got 18 bedrooms in it, by the way. Okay, you couldn't drink, you couldn't have a gun, and you had no kitchen privileges. You were able to buy like cold cuts and keep it in the refrigerator, make yourself a sandwich, go to work or that thing, but she did not allow you to walk into her kitchen and make meals. So she would inspect everything that you had when you moved in, and if you didn't give her a reason to go back in and inspect anything, she left you be, okay? Problem is, if you go to that rooming house, okay, when you see the movie JFK and we filmed in that rooming house in his bedroom, okay, you can put your knee on the bed and touch the wall on both sides of that bedroom, okay? Besides that bed, okay, there was a small little nightstand, literally not much bigger than my computer, and there was a chest of drawers, that the original chest is still there too. So if he had a rifle and was trying to hide it in that room, there would have been nowhere to hide it. So that's the reason why I think that
But he had a revolver in that room according to the reports.
But I think the revolver was here first too. Because again, how hard is it to hide a revolver? Again, if you don't have a reason to question why, you know, and if you go out and talk to Pat Hall, Pat was 11 when Oswald was staying there, okay? And Pat used to, when she got out of school, she had to go to her grandma's because her mom worked. And so she knew, they called him Mr. Lee, but she knew Lee Oswald very well. And she will tell you he was the most kindest, gentlest person on the planet, okay? She tells a story about how Lee broke up a fight between her two younger brothers, okay? He doesn't have a reason to, quote, hide this gun there because he can't. But if he wants that pistol there after he's moved in, it's pretty easy to hide a pistol that big in clothing, in a sock, you know, even under a mattress and pillow. I mean, like I said, if you didn't give him a reason to, if you didn't give Mrs. Johnson a reason to search your room, she didn't search your room. And by the way, the 6 weeks that he was there, He was the only person that she ever allowed to have kitchen privileges. She trusted him that much. Okay. This is an FBI report. Okay, the Dallas police, after they got the gun and the pistol and all the evidence, they couldn't find fingerprints on it anywhere. So they figured, well, we'll send it to the FBI. They've got better technology, okay? Even though it wasn't a federal crime to assassinate the president. This is signed by J. Edgar Hoover on the day after the assassination, back to Jesse Curry. One of the first things in it, underlined in the white, is scraping from inside surface of windshield. They said all the shots came from the rear. Okay, if you're scraping the inside, you're looking for fragmentation from a shot from the front to the rear. Just like that one. Okay, just like above the visors in the chrome. Okay, this is my favorite part right here. This is page 4, and it says the latent prints appearing in the photograph taken of the rifle by the Dallas Police Department are too fragmentary and indistinct to be of any value for identification purposes. Photographs of this weapon taken by this bureau, the FBI, also failed to produce prints of sufficient legibility for comparison purposes, and no latent prints of value were developed on Oswald's revolver, the cartridge cases, the unfired cartridge, the clip in the rifle, or the inner parts of the rifle. They don't have fingerprints on a single thing, but they let that man stay in jail and get killed the next day. And by the way, when they finally found a smudged palm print, it was on the inner part of the rifle, that they're telling you right there that it wasn't there. These are paraffin tests that shows whether or not you have gunpowder residue, and I'm going to pick it up because the bottom line says, any primer deposits from the rifle cartridge cases found in the Texas School Book Depository building following the president's assassination. As a result of these examinations, the deposits found on the paraffin cast from the hand and cheek of Oswald could not be specifically associated with the rifle cartridges. He passed gunpowder tests, people. They have no fingerprints on the weapons. They have no gunpowder on his body. They kept this man in jail and killed him. Okay? Jack Ruby. A lot of people, Jack Ruby didn't know Oswald. This is a letter from Lieutenant Dyson on November 25th to Jesse Curry, and he said, on the day before the assassination, Jack Ruby came into Assistant District Attorney Office Ben Ellis, shook his hand and said, "You probably don't know me now, but you will." Okay? Jack Ruby had inside, he knew what was going on. Okay? Oh, went the wrong way, sorry. Oh, did you guys know that Jack Ruby worked for the FBI?
Yes.
Okay? This is a document from 1947. He was on the House of Un-American Activities Committee with Richard Nixon and Lyndon Johnson.
Yeah. Testified in D.C.
Yeah, and Richard Nixon, when Jack Ruby shot Oswald, Richard Nixon in his New York City apartment says, "I know that man from somewhere."
Do you have a picture of Nixon and Ruby leaning over his shoulder?
I do not.
It's in the Evidence of Reason. The DVD said by Eddie.
Yeah, no, I've got that. Yeah, I've got that, so I can find
So
it.
you've got there's a still of Nixon and Ruby right leaning
Yeah,
over
I've
his
got
shoulder.
that. I've got that. All right, so who killed President Kennedy and why? Right there's your killer. Okay. Anybody heard of Roscoe Anthony White? Okay. Roscoe Anthony White was ordered to kill JFK by the Office of Naval Intelligence. Okay. He worked with Oswald. They spent 6.5 months together in the Marines. They took the same ship, the USS Bexar, out of San Diego to the Philippines, mainland China, Japan. They were in charge of the U-2 spy planes, all the photographs going over Russia. Roscoe White and Lee Harvey Oswald were the people that were evaluating these pictures for our intelligence agencies. They had the highest security level you could get. I show you this because this is Roscoe's Marine discharge. The important part is it's 1666106. That was his Marine identification number. Give you an idea, Lee Harvey Oswald was 1653230. Lee literally joined the Marines, I think, 3 or 4 months before Roscoe did. They were in the same division. What's important about this is the Roscoe White story. His son, Ricky White, in 1982, was searching his grandfather's house. Now, Roscoe White died in 1971. Okay? Ricky was probably in 82, probably 23, 24 years old, and he's searching his grandmother's house, and he comes across a trap door in the bedroom. Okay? Pulls up the trap door, very unusual box, a canister, photographs, a little green book, just really weird stuff, okay? And the more that Ricky reads this and looks at it, he realizes that his father killed JFK, okay? Ricky didn't talk to anybody about it until 1989. There used to be a conspiracy museum in the West End ran by Gary Shaw and Larry Howard. And he went to them and said, I think my dad might have been involved in the Kennedy assassination, okay? Oh, by the way, Roscoe's wife, Geneva, just happened to work for this guy. Just a coincidence. But that was one of the pictures that he found. Okay, he's a 23, 24-year-old kid. He finds a picture of his mom with Jack Ruby. Okay? I'm sorry, if I found a picture of my mom with Jack Ruby, I'd be a little freaked out. This is Roscoe's, what he called his Witness Elimination Program book. And basically what this is, Roscoe would put newspaper clippings of people in this book, and when they died, okay, whether by his hands or someone else's, he just simply marked a little line through the picture, okay? Roscoe White admitted to killing JFK from behind the stockade fence 8 to 10 feet down the west corner, and he admitted to shooting a police officer at 10th and Patton. He doesn't say Tippit, okay? He just says a police officer. Remember earlier when I showed you the extra uniform in the back of the car? I think Roscoe took off his police uniform, hung it up, and casually just walked away. No way to prove it, it's just a theory, I'll tell you right up front, okay? Now, 3 of the things that were in a metal canister were these 3 documents here, and I had my hands on them in 2015. Gary Shaw has, this is actually still stored at the Baylor University Library, Pogue Library, on the campus of Baylor in Waco, okay? Gary gave me full access to everything. So little Ricky brings in these 3 documents in this plastic, and it's basically describing the assassination. So the first thing Gary Shaw wants to do is he wants to see, is this legit? Okay? If you can see my cursor, where is it? There it is. This little bitty sliver of paper that's cut right there, and the little bitty sliver of plastic in the upper right-hand corner, they sent that paper and plastic to both 3M and IBM, and both of them came back and said it was late 62, early 63 paper plastic stock. Okay? They were photocopied in 1990, and fortunately, because today they're barely legible. But if you look in the upper right corner, it says Navy Intelligence. The most important thing up there is 1666106. That's Roscoe's Marine identification number. Okay? He went by the code name of Mandarin. That's in his little green Witness Elimination Program book. If you've done any research on the Kennedy assassination, you've heard of Mandarin, Saul, Lebanon. He was Mandarin. Okay? Dallas destination chosen, your place hidden within the department. Okay, contacts are within this letter continue on his plan. This is in September of '63. Dallas destination chosen, this is not the assassination. This is somebody in Navy intelligence just got him a job with the Dallas Police Department as a photographic expert. This one's really good. Navy intelligence, 1666106. The OCT is handwritten in because it was originally typoed. It's OTC. So if you look at it, it's not faked. It's just, it was a typo, so they just wrote OCT. Remarks Mandarin. Foreign affairs assignments have been canceled. The next assignment is to eliminate a national security threat to worldwide peace. Destination will be Houston, Austin, or Dallas. Contacts are being arranged now. Orders subject to change at any time. Reply back if not understood. This one document says, foreign affairs assignments have been canceled. We're not going to kill Fidel Castro. We're going to kill JFK. They don't know if it's going to be in Houston, Austin, or Dallas. So I guarantee if Roscoe was in Dallas as a police officer, they had somebody else in Houston, they had somebody else in Austin. Dick Russell will tell you the earlier plots in October and November in Chicago, Miami, and Tampa, those are all mafia controlled. In the state of Texas, Lyndon Johnson can control it. And then the last one, again, the same Navy Intelligence 166, this is in December. Stay within department. Witnesses have eyes, ears, and a mouth. You had nothing to do with the mix-up. The men will be in to cover all misleading evidence soon. Stay within the department. Okay? Witnesses are going to come forward, and they're not going to say what the Warren Commission told you, okay? Roscoe admitted in his witness elimination program book and to his pastor, Jack Shaw, on his deathbed, besides JFK and a police officer at 10th and Patton, he killed 28 people on foreign and domestic soil between 1963 and 1971. When I asked Jack Shaw that question, because again, pastors, priests, lawyers, doctors, you know, they take this oath, they're not supposed to. I said, you know, I have it that he killed approximately 28 people on foreign and domestic soil after the assassination of JFK, and Jack Shaw said that number sounds about right. He didn't say yes, he didn't say no, so he didn't confirm it or deny it, but when he said that, that was all I needed to know, that Roscoe was legit. That would have been the view Roscoe had, and you can see the X out on the street, okay? Here's the negative part of the Roscoe White story, okay? Roscoe's wife, Geneva, was very ill, and like I said, Ricky sat on this for 8 years. In 1988, he actually contacted the FBI. The FBI came out, looked at everything, and stole Roscoe's diary. Geneva tried to forge the diary from memory. So when she tried to forge the diary, you could tell that it wasn't 20-some years old. Okay, so they just looked at it as, well, if she would do that, she'll do anything. She was dying of cancer. I mean, she thought she'd make a buck or two. I mean, that's the downside of the Roscoe White story. I firmly believe Roscoe was involved. He's not the only one, okay? I mean, in my book, I believe I have 7 or 8 different angles and shooters, including the, we were talking outside earlier, including a frontal shot from the North Knoll, you know, through the windshield. You realize this was the only motorcade that Jack Kennedy was in that his personal physician wasn't seated between the 2 Secret Service drivers in the front? Because if he'd been sitting there and that shot came through the front windshield, it would have hit Dr. Berkeley and not JFK. Oh, this is also on the only motorcade that the press bus was relegated to the 24th out of 25th position. So instead of actually being in front of the president taking professional pictures like they want, they put them in the very rear.
How far down is that fence from the corner?
From where he was standing, he said in his book about 8 to 10 feet.
So where does that
From there,
leave-
the angle, I mean, just the way I took it, it looks like it's longer, but
Where
it's
does
not.
that leave James Files in this? behind the
Approximately in the
fence?
same area.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this too about Tippett, okay? You guys ever heard of the badge man image?
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's Officer Tippett,
Really?
okay? I'm gonna tell you, when I wrote my book, Dick will tell you this, you have to talk to a lot of attorneys, don't you? Gotta make sure you're not gonna get sued, okay? 2 things that my attorneys came back and said to me. They said, you can't attack Bill O'Reilly and Fox News. I said, yeah, I can. And they go, that's a $1 billion corporation, they're gonna sue you, you know, you're trying to write a book, you're trying to make money, they're gonna sue you. And I'm like, no, I've got copies of Gaetan Fonzie's tapes that admits that O'Reilly was lying his ass off.
Yeah.
Okay, I said, no, that's staying in the book, okay? He then said to me, he goes, is Officer Tippett's family still alive? I said, well, his wife and 2 of his 3 children are. He's like, you're accusing Tippett of being a dirty cop. I said, yeah. I even originally said in my book, I thought Tippett was a badge man, and his job was to go into the Texas School Book Depository, kill Oswald, he's the hero cop, but the problem was Oswald wasn't on the 6th floor, he was on the 2nd floor, he was able to escape before Tippett could get over there. So when Tippett, Roscoe, and Oswald all got together, what's the old mafia saying? 3 of you can keep a secret if 2 of you are dead?
Could Roscoe White have been badge man and James Files been behind the fence there?
Not according to Roscoe's own testimony in his book. He said he was 8 to 10 feet down the line. And here's the other thing too, the badge man image, I've got plenty of pictures in here. Even if he was shooting at the president, he didn't hit him. Just simply because the concrete retaining wall. I've stood behind that area where Badgeman is on the bumper of my car with
Right.
my waist at the top of that fence, and I still can't see the X in the street. Now granted, I'm only 5'8", but if I'm standing on a 2.5 foot bumper, okay, I'm 8 feet in the air and I still can't see it, so I'm not gonna be shooting like this,
Yeah.
okay? I told you that I didn't want to, I'll get you right for this. I told you I didn't want to, you know, take the Tippett thing out of my book, but I did because I'm calling him a dirty cop, okay? One of the documents that came out this past year says, Officer Tippett knew Jack Ruby He also knew a guy named Lee Harvey Oswald, and they believe that Officer Tippit was shooting at President Kennedy. This document just came out this past year. Okay, so it validated what I believe, but it's in my documentary film. It's not in my book, just simply because, like I said, it's been printed.
Who's that from?
That's one of the files that got released in October 26th.
Who did the memo?
It was an FBI informant by the name of Theodore Lee talking to someone else, and it's dated, I think, April 1st of '64.
Theodore, you're talking about T.E. Lee, the
Yeah.
FBCC guy?
Yeah, Fair Play for Cuba Committee, yeah. Said that they were all part of it.
What do you think about Jack White's comparison of Roscoe White's chin?
Oh, I totally believe that picture.
You think so, yeah?
Well, again, what was Roscoe and Lee's job?
And the bump on the...
Yeah, I've got pictures of that.
Oh, sorry.
What was Roscoe and Lee's job in the military? Photography.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a picture of Roscoe in a beach photo. His right hip is cocked out just like it is in the.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, the bump on his wrist, on his right wrist from where he fell as a kid, like 6 or 7 years old, broke a bone, never properly healed. It's in the backyard photographs.
I think took the picture, that's what I believe.
Yeah, and I mean, in that picture,
You're talking about the backyard.
it's Roscoe from here down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay? It's the square chin. Lee didn't have a square chin, okay?
I assure you, he did not.
Yeah, but and again, guys, I've got a ton, this book that if you buy it today, tomorrow, whatever, if you don't buy it, that's fine too. You can go to my website, The Innocence of Oswald, you can see all this stuff for free. But I mean, you know, I firmly believe the backyard photographs were Roscoe. And on top of that, by the way, in 1975 in the Dallas Police Department, they found the ghost image. Do you know what that was? It's just a white image of someone standing just like Lee at the Neely Street address, right, that they basically was able to cut him out of. Oh, and Ricky in 1982 found another image of Lee in behind the picket fence. Why would Roscoe have a picture of Lee back there?
Of course, it wasn't Lee.
It wasn't Lee, it was him doctored, yeah.
We were there last year with Judith, and we started analyzing the sunlight at the time of year, which would have been the anniversary time and the time of day, and kind of figured, you were saying that the bush didn't have the right leaves on it for the time or
Not for
anything.
April, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like I said, what makes my book and video different is, again, it's just chock full of government documents that just prove that this man was not guilty, okay? I consider Lee a hero and a patriot, okay? I mean, I was telling these folks earlier, the first time I came to Dallas, I was able to stand in the 6th floor window in 1987 because there wasn't a museum yet. I'm standing there going, if I'm Lee Oswald, why the hell am I not shooting right here? And I'm waiting to shoot through trees, down a curve, down a hill. Yeah, you know. So, I mean, like I said, that's what started me on this journey. And because back in 1987, 88, we had a wonderful thing called the White Pages. You just went to the White Pages, hey, Dr. McClellan. Call him up, okay? So that's why now on my phone, I've got Marina Oswald, I've got Veda Oswald, I've got Robert McClellan, I've got, you know, all these people because I've just been talking to them forever. Jim Lavelle is out in Garland, Texas, okay? Jim's 98 years old, still sharp as a tack, okay?
Was a certain number of naval intelligence people in those days being trained as assassins?
Oh, most definitely,
Okay.
most definitely.
And were a lot of them of the naval intelligence photographers? Because why? It's a good cover, or because it's good spydom, or what?
They can be anywhere for any
It could
reason.
be, yeah, they could be in any position. I mean,
Okay.
I don't think it has to be a photographer by no means. I just think it has to be someone that's willing to sell their soul for the devil and be a pretty good shot.
Okay.
I
But a
mean,
lot of the
I mean,
naval intelligence
yeah,
were being
but I mean, a
trained.
perfect example, Roscoe White, the night before he had to kill Kennedy, he didn't sleep, okay? He acted like he slept, okay? But he wasn't sleeping, and his wife knew something was up. And she asked him the next morning, what's going on with you? And he goes, I've been ordered to kill President Kennedy today. And she's like, you can't do that. And he's like, oh, obviously they know more about it than we do, and if I don't do it, they're gonna kill you, they're gonna kill me, they're gonna kill our kids,
Yeah, that's what they do.
okay? I really believe Roscoe White was killed, okay? He died in a very suspicious chemical fire. I believe he was killed because he would not take another assignment to assassinate Richard Nixon before Watergate.
Wow.
The circumstances in which he died, you know, he was a he was a good welder. He would never have kept chemicals that would catch on fire underneath his welding bench, for Pete's sakes.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So one of the things that, for skeptics in this, that I always show them is, you can go on the internet and you can see Jack Ruby in the press conference, the night of the assassination, correcting Henry Wade when Henry Wade says.
Right. Fair
says-
play for Cuba Committee.
How do you know
Yeah.
anything
For the
about that?
Free
Yeah.
Cuba Committee, has anyone come up with any kind of plausible explanation as to how we would have known this remote thing that, it's in New Orleans?
Grab her book, Me and Lee.
I've read her book.
Okay.
But I mean, a plausible explanation from somebody saying, oh, yeah, it was published, or he would have got, there wasn't an internet then, there wasn't like he couldn't go.
Well, again, they knew each other. This,
Well, that
this
I-
one document right here says they're all part of the Fair Play for Cuba Committee.
Yeah.
No,
They were meeting in Jack Ruby's bar.
Well, I'm saying that's the only plausible explanation I could think of, but has anyone tried to, I haven't heard a Warren Commission defender ever come
They
up with
can't.
some remote explanation as to how he would
Smart
have known
enough,
that, right?
Yeah, they know they can't. I mean, Jack Ruby, was basically ordered by Joe Sabello and Joe Campisi to eliminate Oswald. He didn't want to do it, okay? You look at the very slow motion of Lee being dragged out, he literally looks directly in the eyes of Jack Ruby
Sure did.
1 second before he's shot. He's looking at him like, what the hell are you doing here? Done.
Yeah.
Okay, he looks him right square in the eye, okay? Lee Oswald was supposed to have been transferred at 10 o'clock. He wasn't transferred until 11:17.
Jack
I would-
Ruby put it off as long as he could. He
Yeah.
did everything he could to stop, so he wouldn't have to do it.
Jack Ruby didn't send a telegram that morning, okay? If I want to send a telegram to Judith right now, but I want to kill somebody else in this room, okay? I'm gonna go into Western Union on Friday night and say, how do I send $25 to another person? Well, you fill out that form right there, you sign it right there, you give me the $25, I give you the receipt, you're out of here. You're an employee of mine, go wire this person $25 at 11:15. So now he's got an alibi that he was in the Western Union, which is just happened to be right next to the Dallas Municipal Building. So it's not, quote, premeditated murder at this point. He just at the last second decided to do. Oh,
That's why he said, come see the fireworks, right?
exactly.
This might be a silly question, but why, a really silly question, why a shot to the stomach?
He didn't want to kill him.
Not to the,
He didn't
Well,
want to kill him.
I'll tell you what I think.
not to the heart or the head?
It's a little bit, just from information I got, I talked to mafia people in Louisiana, in Lafayette. They said, he stood up so Lee could see him for sure. He said, when we hate somebody who's a snitch, we hit them in the head and around their mouth or whatever to deface them, to deform them, to make them look ugly for a casket. But if somebody we respect, we'll hit them in the ribs if we can, like Christ was killed. It's just part of their tradition. And by his standing up there and speaking out loud, he said they feel that if they're gonna have to kill somebody, they give them kind of a warning. And so they can prepare their souls so they don't go to hell. So he made himself visible. And that's just the mafia way because of their Catholic traditions and rituals and stuff like that. Lee would have understood that because he's raised in a mafia family. So we think, I do think that Jack Ruby was telling him, get ready because we're gonna have to kill you. And then when he looked at him, he knew it was gonna happen. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, and I don't have anything differently to say that with Judith. She knows
Yeah.
more than I do. I seriously don't think Jack wanted to kill him.
Oh, no, he
I
didn't.
think he wanted to wound him, and now he's in jail. Oswald's in jail after he gets out of the hospital. Who's gonna kill him now? You still got 2 of the 3 birds alive that you're trying to keep that secret from.
Well, he sure wouldn't hit him in the head because that definitely would have killed him.
Yeah,
And it
I
would,
mean, the gun was literally 18 inches to
Not a
24
silly
inches from me. I mean, I can't hit you in the heart or the head from here.
Yeah.
I mean, I
That's always worried me, that, always worried me.
and
well, anyway, they said they did it because of the lance,
Yeah,
That's
the
what they-
ribs.
Yeah.
yeah, and also, I mean, by him being turned, I mean, it injured like 5 or 6 organs. I mean, they gave him like 17 pints of blood to try to keep him alive.
I want to tell you, there's some bad things they did. First of all, I think they were prejudiced and they didn't want him to stay alive because first they wheeled him out of the room that Kennedy was in. you're not supposed to have that kind of prejudice. That took another precious minute, okay? Second, they gave him no oxygen. We have pictures, they had an oxygen tank in the ambulance, they didn't give him any oxygen, and on the receipt, it says no oxygen. And then you have, on the other hand, ice cold blood going in, didn't even try to warm up any of the blood. So that's gonna shock the heart and make it probably you won't live, so.
You guys enjoying the show so far?
Yes.
Not really, no.
I'll be in there. I help Judith by introducing a lot of the people. Usually me and Don end up doing a lot of those responsibilities. But if you got any questions, if you want to see more pictures, documents, whatever, I've got tons of stuff.
Now, did you tell them what you're gonna be doing for anybody who can't get into Speaker's Dinner?
Yes.
Speaker's Dinner is sold out. We have boxed dinners for everybody. They're $25, and that's not bad since it's the same dinner, except it's in a box, basically, that we're gonna get Speaker's Dinner. But that way you can get in real quick and see the whole movie.
All right.
Yeah, my movie will be playing in its entirety, thanks to Judith. Saturday night from 7:30 to 9:30. We're going to give a little. I gotta warn you, you better have a good bladder. My movie's 2 hours and 44 minutes long.
There's a break
But
in the
there is a
middle.
break, okay?
There's a break.
Well, I mean, when I'm
There's a
doing this,
15-minute
okay?
break, so
When I'm
that-
doing this movie, I know myself. You gotta keep it an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. That's it. I'm not even through the Roscoe White chapter. I'm like an hour and 20 minutes. I'm like, there ain't no damn way to know. It's like, so like I said, I apologize that it's 2 hours and 44
Oh, we're
minutes.
gonna let him speak again, don't worry.
But,
And it's
uh,
available on DVD, correct?
It's available on DVD with my book, and I've also got 4 signed photographs for you if you buy the DVD from Marianne Mormon, Bill Wesley Frazier, James Lavelle, and Hubert Clark.
I'll take one.
Any other questions, guys?
Are you happy with what you
Yeah.